on mute. Okay. Hi. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. We're live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube. And what I wanted this impromptu live to be about, I'm going to be looking here because YouTube is over there. So, anyways, what I wanted this to be about is literally how are you going to manifest your dream reality in 2026? And because of how many bullshit videos I saw on manifestation and all of these things, which don't even hit the surface of what you actually need to be doing in order to be, oh, hello, hello. In order to be living that life, we're gonna make this really fucking powerful. Okay, I want you all to get your notepads. I want you to be taking notes because if you do everything that I share with you tonight, literally, like you have about a day or two to make 2022. Oh my God, 2026. Set the intention right for 2026. Okay. So let's freaking get to it. Okay. The first thing I want y'all to tell me, okay? I want you guys to tell me in the chat, A, what is one thing that absolutely stuck about 2025? Like one thing that you were just like, that's not the vibe. Thank you. One thing that wasn't pretty great about 2025. Y'all are just looking. I'm feeling very guilty that should not manifest my dream life because I should trust God and his plan and should not go against God. That's such a cool question because I feel like your academics. I feel like one of the biggest things that people think when it comes to manifestation is they think it's going against the will of God. And that is one of the main things I also want to talk to you guys about. Hey, listening to this during your meeting, dude, I love you. Okay, because manifestation has nothing to do with going against God. Like it is, think about it this way. It's literally like making prayer with conviction. And because most people lack the conviction part of it, they don't realize that there's more layers to it, okay? So you wanna understand the first thing, okay? Everyone, when it comes to New Year's, what is everyone talking about? New year, new me, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But if you don't bring the a new identity, if you don't actually bring a higher self concept, it's gonna be the same freaking life. Listen, don't come for Gaia, okay? But you're going to be living the same life because manifestation community, one of the biggest things that it teaches, and I think that's personally, I believe it's bullshit, is just wishful thinking without identity alchemy, right? So people go like, oh, I'm just going to be positive. I'm just going to be positive. But if your nervous system, get this, if your nervous system is coded for survival, no amount of whatever like your scripting, your this or that you do will allow you to actually accept and receive without feeling guilty about the things that you actually want from God. Your nervous system is the mechanism that you need to kind of work with because you can't create a magical year if you have a self concept that thinks small. If you don't think that you deserve everything, if you don't like, bro, wallahi lazim, when I tell you your thoughts, the way you think about yourself, because like, I don't know, can you guys see this? Okay, y'all can't. I'm sorry for that, but like your reality, whatever it is over here that you think about is exactly what life will mirror back. Like life is just a mirror. Life is literally just a mirror. Listen, we just started. How do you have a question already? Like, how do you think we can make this planet better? To be very honest, I fundamentally believe that we can make this planet better by awakening our own consciousness. Like the more like it's not about, we all like to think that, oh, how do I impact everyone? How do I do this? How do I do that? But the starting point is self. You awaken your spiritual heart, you become the leader God sent you here to be. You literally become relentless in every single thing you do. You actually, you stop thinking from your logic and you start creating with God. You start living with audacity. You start to speak your truth. You start to use your magic to change the world. I promise you that is how the planet gets better because Me, like I feel like the work that I get to do, I have a privilege to do is only possible because of all of the work that I did on myself. All of the work that I did on myself. And it's like people, and the funny thing is, the reason I did all that work on myself was never about me. It was to make the planet a better place. It was that I saw these people who were hurting other people. I saw all this pain around me. I saw all this suffering around me. And I said, I don't want to be a part of it. And I want to be a part of making the world a better place. I want to be a part of consciousness expanding and being love in the world. So, coming back to this, you can't have a magical year with a self concept that thinks small. Okay. So, we're going to talk about the three true levers of manifestation. Okay. The first, and this is the most important part, and this is the part that people miss out on. It is identity. Okay, your identity is the real quantum jump. You want to talk about how do I manifest love? How do I manifest this, Anna? How do I manifest that, Anna? But you need to understand that in order to receive any single thing in your life, your self concept needs to actually be able to accept and reflect that. The world is your consciousness objectified. Okay, what is God's role? Listen, like we're gonna get to that, man. We're gonna get to that. Like, chill. Like, y'all chill, okay? Chill. All right. Identity. We're talking about identity right now, okay? The real quantum jump, okay, is about you asking yourself, okay? So, for example, you have, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, whatever. You're, oh my God, this is so distracting. How do I turn the comments off? Okay. All right. So you want to look at the three levers of manifestation. I'm just going to talk to the YouTube people over here. The first is your identity. Okay, your identity, you need to look at everything that you want that's on your list for whatever it is you want to experience in 2026. Ask yourself, what is the dream year to me? What is the dream life to me? What is a life that when I'm living that, it will be unbelievably incredible, unbelievably magical, unbelievably iconic, like a life not just about the thing. Look, you're going to get bored of the things. You want one thing, two things, 50, 55,000 things. Okay. And then what? What is beyond the things? What is beyond all the desires? What is the actual thing that brings your spirit to life? That gives you this fire in your eyes, this fire in your soul, this fire in your heart. Get to that because that is the cheat code to reaching and unveiling your identity. Okay. And I want to also kind of make clear that who I serve, okay, who the people I work with, because my work isn't for everyone, okay? And that's not to say that what questions you will have for me are not valid or like, I'm telling you that, oh, you can't manifest this, you can't manifest that. No, I'm not telling you that. But what I am telling you is that my work is not for, like, I don't teach you how to manifest physical appearances. I'm not going to teach you how to manifest the one SP who's not even like giving a rat's butt about you and your existence. How do I manifest this guy who doesn't give a shit about me? And I'm not going to teach you that. Not because like I have anything against it, but just because my work is for people who know that they have this fire in their heart and they're just afraid to go all in. My work is for leaders. My work is for leaders who know that they're meant to lead, but they're a little bit scared to go out there and make that impact. My work is for people who want to change themselves to change their world, who want to live and like literally be alive for something that is greater than them, who want to not just get the car or get the house. Wallah al azim, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, it is incredible to get all these blessings. It is incredible. I love the things and I do, I love buying shit. I love buying cool shit. I'm all for that. But that's not what drives me. And so I can't teach you about something that does not relate to me. I can't teach you what I don't like, that I don't know in a personal context because I will always teach you something that I've experienced myself and that I truly believe in myself. And so there are millions of teachers out there you're going to find who will support you with that, who will tell you how to get that physical appearance, who will tell you how to get this thing, get that, whatever, whatever, whatever. But my work is for people who want to bring their faith back to life. And by faith, I don't mean just like, oh, just trust the universe. No, I don't even like fuck the universe. Yeah, the universe is a creation connection of God. My work is for people who want to, like, recharge and kind of awaken that audacious connection with God. The connection that makes you go like, holy shit, like why would I ever play small when I live with a God that is so massive? My work is for those people. It is not for everyone. So there are a lot of times when I get DMs like this, when I'll get questions like this, and I don't reply, not because, like I don't care about you, but just because it is not something that I teach. And you won't find me posting any video about, oh yeah, here's 5 tips to make your face look like this. Everyone has kind of like their way of what they share and what they teach and stuff like that. And I need everyone to understand this because I truly believe that what brings me fulfillment in my life and to teach is to teach about the spirit, to bring your gifts to life, to bring your power online, to help you see what it's like to be an illuminated being, to get people to recognize that they're here for more, so much more than they allow themselves to see. And the reason I know this is because I've met so many brilliant people in the world, brilliant, iconic, magical, impactful. They open their mouth and you're just like, wow, like this person knows how to talk, but they are terrified of their light. No one, like half the people think that, oh, I'm scared of my darkness. I'm scared of this. No, you're actually scared of how powerful you are because you were told to be silenced all your life. Your ability to shut the frick up was what helped you stay safe in the world. And so I'm here to be evidence of possibility for you and to hold your hand and walk in that fire with you. And that's why my work is identity work. It is how do you bring your faith with fire online? How do you use impact first? That's the trio that I work with. That you want anything in life, and by anything, I mean impact. I mean that business you want to build, the people you want to help, the life that is, by living that you're doing a service to the world. That is who I serve. So if that's not you, it's okay. It's okay. Like that's nothing against anyone else, but this is what I'm here for. So everything you'll hear from me, everything I'll talk about, everything I'll teach you, everything I'll share with you, it'll always be along those lines. Because I think that the world becomes a better place when we all learn to show up. When we stop hiding, when we stop thinking, oh, I don't want to take too much space, take the space. Why shouldn't you take this space? Why shouldn't you go online and be loud about your mission? Why should you play small? Why should you do a disservice to the absolute incredible being, the talented being, the gifted being, the everything God made you to be? Why should you do a disservice to that gift? Most people, the one of the biggest things, and I worked with literally hundreds and thousands of people this year only, and the biggest thing I saw in them was the fear of being a what if I stop being relatable? What if I speak my truth? I go online and I start talking and I start posting and I start creating. What are other people going to think about me? Yeah. If I start my business, what if I don't get sales? What if I launch something and it fails? What if I do this thing and it doesn't work out? And that what if that's an identity thing. That what if is what keeps you small. Because as long as you live from that fear, you will always stay over here. That came out more poetic than I intended to. But as long as you're so worried about yourself, you can never make the impact you're here to make because you're always going to be too freaking obsessed with not looking stupid. What I'm here to teach you is how do you stop needing validation from the world and start becoming the validation you seek. Give it to yourself. Your validation is not the likes you get. It's not the followers you have. It's not even the sales you receive. Your validation is the fact that there is a fire in you, a fire to be better, a fire to be more than anything you've ever known, a fire. That's your validation. That whisper in your heart that I'm here for greatness in the world. I don't know how. I don't know how that's ever going to happen. I don't know what I'm supposed to do to get there. I don't know what steps I need to take. But that knowing that I know that there is something that is your validation. God would not have chosen you for a mission he didn't believe you were qualified for. So if God believed in you, what makes you think you get to play small? What makes you think you get to not believe in yourself? What makes you think that you don't get to sit down and do the identity work and unlearn the BS that society, that culture, that people who were too freaking terrified of their own power told you to limit you, to tell you to play small, to tell you to not confront anybody, to tell you not to raise your voice, to tell you not to change your dreams, to tell you to live a life for other people, always pleasing somebody else. You're going to believe those people over God? Nothing wrong with those people. Just that your mission, your vision is in a song, in a melody that they can't hear because they lost sight of their song a long time ago. And when we put our feet down, when we stand 10 toes on business and that mission, on that vision, on that business, on that impact, when we go like, you know what, actually, I'm going to do something different. Actually, I will believe in myself. Actually, this is the year everything changes. The biggest difference, to be very, very brutally honest with you guys, I have nothing to hide. But the biggest difference, like ever since I became a coach, which was at 22, okay? 23, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, all of those years, I never, when I was starting the year, I never thought to myself that, oh my God, yes, this is the year that I make the most amount of impact. This is the year where I stop holding back. I would always say, yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be, like fun. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. But it was never, uh, sorry, I got a Discord, but it was never like, this is it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go all in and I'm going to see how deep God catches me. It was motivation, but it was a lot of like, oh, self obsession in a way. How am I being perceived? What does this say about me? What is this? Da, 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 da? And so everything would just, come back to the fact that, oh, I don't feel worthy. I don't feel enough. I don't, not enough until I do this. Not enough. You all need to understand, Wallahi al-Azim, if there's one thing you take with you in this year, let it be the year of your freedom. Let it be the year where you stop making everything about yourself. That will liberate you when you stop like making your business, your impact, your leadership, your message about yourself. When you can get over yourself, the ego loves to make everything about itself. The ego loves to like have this like sappy ass backstory. The ego loves to fight for your limitations. The ego loves to tell you why you can't have that. Why, oh my God, you just got 2 likes on that, you're a loser, no one wants to listen to you, blah blah blah. The ego's gonna say all sorts of bullshit to you. Oh, you posted on LinkedIn and no one freaking liked your post. No one cares about you. No one cares about your message. Da, 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 da. If that you just started and you're gonna tap out. Really? Like, is your vision, is the mission God gave you that pointless? That someone not interacting with your goddamn post will make you go like, oh shit, I'm not good enough. If you want to go into 2026 living that dream life, you got to know what it takes, man. And what it takes, the cost of that life will be every bullshit story, every story of limitation, every single lie you tell yourself, every single reason you've sold to yourself. Every person, every one of all of you, you're all excellent at sales. You know why? Because you're always selling your bullshit to yourself. And I like, with all due respect, You're always lying to yourself about something. And the ego is excellent at making you think that, oh my God, these are your thoughts. You truly believe that. Ah, no, you have to realize you have to come out of that trance. You're under the, like, I don't know if you guys know about hypnosis, but it's almost like you're hypnotized by those limitations, by those, just because, oh my God, just because you have lived a certain life for all these years, just because you have seen specific evidence of some sort of thing happen in your life over and over again, does not mean that you have to continue carrying the legacy of that bullshit into your year. You want to know how to make 2026 the most magical year? Start by asking yourself, what stories will I not carry with me anymore? What stories do I keep selling to myself to feel the relevance of my pain? What do I not allow myself to believe because it invalidates my suffering? That's where you begin. What is it that you don't allow yourself to believe because it invalidates all those years, all that time you spent suffering? I mean, for a lot of people, you know what that is? It's the fact that you can have it easy. They will fight tooth and nail to say, no, Anna, I can't have it easy. You don't understand. This is my circumstance. It doesn't work out for people like me. It can't work out for me. It can't do this. It can't do that. But ask yourself, who is benefiting from this story being alive? Because, like, if you right now, let me ask you this, if right now you told yourself, you know what, 2026 is the year that I actually get to have everything easily. Fear. The what if I believe that and it doesn't come true? Then I'm going to be disappointed. Then I'm going to feel pretty stupid for thinking that, right? Because easy in our definition is what? How do we define easy? Most people define easy like it's handed to you. You don't have to do anything about it. But that's where we need to fundamentally evolve our understanding of ease. I truly believe that ease is not like an erasure or like a lack of effort or action. Ease is not inaction. Ease is aligned action. Ease is when when this right here shuts up. Ease is when you every day when you wake up, you don't feel like you're pushing. When you're so in flow that I swear to you, you guys, I have had days like when I'm creating something, for example, when I built that game, right? Paid to Exist. That game, it is, I don't even know how many pages. I wrote three versions of it before it finally went out. And I spent like 14 hours a day for 3 or 4 days to get to that final product, but it felt so easy. It was the easiest thing in the world. To another person, that may be like, oh my God, she's crazy. How did she, like, like she's not even like eating, she's not doing nothing, but it's because I'm so in that zone, in that flow that it's coming through me. And I'm just like, I'm just there. That's the thing. Ease is a reflection of alignment. When your identity is, you're no longer fighting for your identity or with your identity, when you're no longer fighting to keep that old bullshit story alive, you realize that, oh my God, like it is so easy to create impact. It is so easy to maximize what I give to the world. It is so easy to live in my truth. It is so easy to come online to talk about it. It is so easy to like share. It is so easy to create. It is so easy to serve. It is so easy. Most people think that this showing up is the hardest part without realizing that, for example, I was having a conversation. I had a meeting with one of my clients, okay? And this client of mine, she wanted to start her business, I think about 5 years ago. She started a business 4 years ago and she gave 50% of her best. It didn't work out. She started another business 3 years ago. She gave a little more, and it didn't work out. Okay. And all this time, she never quit her job. Okay. So she never went full time in her business either. Not to say that, like, if you want to start a business, you must go full time. But, anyways, this was like 3 months ago. Okay. So we're talking, and she's like, I really, really feel like I'm here to give this gift to the world. I'm here to start a business. I'm here to do this. I'm here to do that. But it's like, it's so hard, Anna. It's so hard. It's so hard. And I'm like, I'm gonna ask you one question. Is it hard for you every single day when you wake up for the past 5 years knowing that there is something you're here to do in the world and you're not doing it? Has that voice inside you that knows that you are meant for something bigger, has it made it easy for you to get through the day? And she's like, no. She's like, there's always like this, at the back of my mind, I always know that someday I'm going to quit. Someday it's going to change. Someday it's going to be like this. Someday I'm going to do the thing God sent me here to do. But that was 5 years of not easy, because just because something is comfortable, just because you're used to something doesn't mean that it's easy. She's miserable. Finally, she decided to quit her job, went all in her business. And I think 2 weeks ago, she texted me saying she got a $10,000 client. Point is, you're never gonna know until you get out of your own comfort zone. You're never gonna know what God has for, like, written for you. People go like, "Oh, is it manifestation going against God?" Da, 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 da. But I think what is even more going against God is being limited, is thinking that, oh, God wants suffering for me. God literally says that everything good in your life is from me, and everything evil or not good is from your own doing. So you look at your life and you look at the problems and ask yourself, well, shit, really? Like, this is the good that God has in store for me? God doesn't change the state of a people until they change what's inside of them. But people love to be complacent in their suffering, complacent in their stories of limitations, they don't want to do the inner work. And they're like, oh, well, God doesn't want good for me. What are you thinking over here? What are you believing over here? What are you entertaining over here? How do you see yourself? How do you see God? No one wants to talk about that. You want to change your reality, bro? It's not going to start from the outside. It's going to start over here. It's going to start with the mental reps you do over here. It's going to start by seeing yourself as an entirely different person. It's going to start by literally you need to stop identifying with your problems, with who you think you are, with what your life has been. Just be like, your memory, by the way, 50% of it is not even real. It's not even real. More than 50% of it. Every time you remember something, your brain changes it up just a little bit. So you're telling me that, oh, Anna, are you saying that I should just be delusional? Babes, you're already delusional. You're already believing in imagined bullshit. You're already believing in something that's not entirely true. You would rather believe in sorry ass shit than what you actually want. Because here's the thing: at the end of the day, no matter what you've been through, and wallah alazim, I say this as someone who has been through shit. Like, I have seen stuff. But I had to ask myself one question, babe. I had to ask myself, Anna, do you want to keep going through this in different flavors? You want to keep continuing this type of life? Or do you actually want to know who you are as God created you to be? Not what the world morphed you into, but the original source code of you. Would you rather live as the distorted version, or ask God to restore the original coding? Because God created all of us in wholeness, in abundance, in love, in freedom. We came here looking at life with awe, with curiosity. We were imaginative. We were courageous. We were bold. We weren't afraid of what people are going to think. You want to remember who you are, look at a child. A child doesn't, like stop in their tracks thinking, what is that person gonna think about me? I look stupid. They're experts at looking stupid. And they do it with their chest, 10 toes on business. They look stupid because they don't think they look stupid. They think they're just being themselves. 2026, look, you can have the vision board and you can have you can have everything on that vision board. But if you don't make this year about the year that you return to yourself, I don't know how it's going to be much different from any other year. Hell, you work really hard, you're going to get the shit you want. Sure. But at a certain point, that 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 novelty of the things dies down. And what's left is the reflection in the mirror. Because money can come and go, things will come and go, people will come and go. Everything in life is always changing. But you remain the common factor of your experience in life. Your experience in life is always perceived through who you are. You will always see life not as it is, but as who you're being, what you believe to be true, what you perceive things to be true. And so the question you really want to ask yourself before 2026 is like, damn, what do I want to see? What eyes do I want to see the world through? What do I want to choose to believe about life? Because every belief you currently have is self-fulfilling. You have it and you also have evidence for it. But here's the thing. Blind faith, you want to know about tawakkul. You want to know how to build blind faith. It starts with one thing, believing before seeing. Once you start believing before seeing, you will see eventually. But faith, what good is faith if you would just always have to believe in the things you see in front of you? Faith is in the blindness, in the blind spot, in the impossible playground, in the standing in front of the sea, not knowing how the frick you're gonna get out of here. But you can't expect God to part your seas if you never bring yourself to the edge of impossible situations, illogical situations, and then throw the baton to God. Be like, you handle it. But I'm going to take big life size action. I'm going to jump and I'm going to show up and I am going to work and show up and impact. Like I know that you're looking out for me. Like I know I've already succeeded. There's some people I saw, for example, join my game, pay to exist. 7 days I saw them posting like the life depended on it because that was a part of the game. Eighth day, eighth day, I don't see a single post from them. I don't see them selling their shit. They created in those 7 days something that could change so many people's lives. But they're like, and they got in their head. Because when you start to make things mean, anything on the outside, when you make it mean something about you, you've lost. You gave that thing more power over you. But wallahi, if you learn to like literally like look at whatever reaction you get from the world, whether it looks like it's working out or not, whether things sell out or don't sell out, whatever, if you can become indifferent about it, if you can just be like, okay, and I'm going to show up because I know that I believe in this. I know that God wouldn't put this song in my heart if the world was not supposed to listen to it. Y'all just need more thicker skin, to be honest. You have to stop looking at failure as like the end of the world because I don't think you ever fail. I don't think that failure is even a thing unless you stop, unless you quit. You're always being redirected. You're always like it's sometimes honestly, it's just a test of faith. You feel pretty tight about it. You go out with your full chest. You start creating, you start posting, and then what? Crickets. Oh, because Anna, no one bought from me. Well, no one's gonna buy if you never show up. And it's not just about business. It's about everything in your life. It's about realizing that the version of you, the things that you want, the vision that you have, the person who is living that life is not afraid of having something not sold out, is not afraid of numbers on a freaking sheet. This is not about toxic positivity, for God's sake. This is not about, oh, like, just like, always be like thinking like positive thoughts. I'm not telling you that. But I am telling you it's about showing up. It's about feeling your shit. Real spirituality is not above the human experience. It is not going to a cave and sitting in a mountain and meditating for 200 hours and then saying, "Oh, I went to like this monk and now I'm like the spiritual guru." Real spirituality is having the ability to bring your consciousness of God right in the earth playground and living through that consciousness in 4K. Real spirituality is inhaling the human experience like freaking cocaine. I always say that. It's about messing up. It's about being unafraid to be messy. It's about creating. It's about expressing. It's about realizing that God gave you a voice. God gave you a gift. Use it. Show up. You really want a quantum leap, man? Stop bullshitting yourself. You really want 2026 to be the freaking year? Stop getting terrorized by the 3D. Oh, I didn't get a text back, Anna. My life is over. Why? Oh, if I don't get this thing, everything. Why? That's the real question. Identity dictates timelines. And once you have your identity in check, once you know who you are, you begin to move and act and live and breathe from that place. It's no longer this separate thing. It's not that, oh, my vision board is over here and I'm over here. No, you are that person right now. Not because the world is showing you that you are that person, but because that person doesn't need the proof from anything outside themselves to show up as who they are. And once you do that, once you start showing up, the second part is surrender. It is devotion to God. It's not like, it's not about, oh, like, I'm just gonna like let everything go and like leave it up to God. So I'm not gonna take any action. God conscious action, aligned action is about living with your freaking chest and then expecting God to make it work. And here's the thing, by the way, a lot of times people think surrender is means that if I just surrender, then like I will get exactly what I want. But surrender to God means surrendering the entirety of the outcome. Meaning, God, this or better. Because a lot of times, what we set as the bar for ourselves, the ceiling to our ego, isn't even the floor to God. So you're like, well, God, can I have this one marker? I want this one marker. I'm manifesting this marker. I'm going to be the person for whom this marker is so normal, it's so natural, blah, blah. I'm equal to this marker. God, I surrender my efforts. Give me the marker. And you're so obsessed with the marker that you're unable to receive anything bigger God has got for you. So maybe God has like a factory of markers for you that was going to like bless you and your freaking generations. Maybe he has the best marker in the world, but you can't get over yourself. You're so addicted to just one flavor of marker that you close yourself to anything better that could come from God. You have to trust that trusting in God isn't just like trusting that He's going to make it happen, but that He will always do what is best for you. And maybe right now you can't see it. And your ego will want to fight you and be pissed off and throw middle fingers and throw a tantrum. But you can't be the leader you came here to be if you're always in a piss off contest. If you always think you know better. Where's the trust in God in that? Surrender isn't about like, this is exactly what I want, so this is exactly what God's gonna give me, or else my life is over. Maybe God will humble you by showing you how what you wanted was actually harmful to you. Well, if like, come on, think about it this way, bro. If you have a child, if you have a little sibling, they want to put their finger in the socket, and they're gonna freaking get electrocuted if they do that. You're gonna be like, well, if it's what you want, no, do it. You're gonna pick them up so fast. And we under like, if your friend starts dating her toxic ex again, are you gonna sit there and be like, girl, you do you? No, you're gonna be like, like, shut the frick up. Wake the fuck up. What are you doing? And if we can understand that in human terms, in terms of like, well, how would you respond if you knew better and someone you absolutely love more than life itself was out here making the dumbest decision you've ever seen in the history of decision making? You would be like, go ahead, do that. No, you wouldn't. So you think that God, the one who created the heavens and the one who loves you more than any love, like the maximum amount of love that you can perceive, that is not even like a little bit compared to the love God has for you. You think that God is not going to have the best in store for you? But you know what delays blessings is your own hopelessness, your own inability to actually surrender. Because most people, they want the performative surrender. They want the surrender that says, "Well, I'm a surrender," and then they're like freaking out, and they're like, "How do I control this? How do I manipulate time?" Bro, work on yourself. Show up. Trust that God's got you, this or better, in any way possible. There's infinite ways He could bring that to you. But you got to know that it's here right now. You have it. You already do. It's already done. And that comes prayer, presence, surrender, identity work, bro. Keeping check of your inner world. Like this is the most important part. Your internal home. And then finally, so we got identity, we got devotion to God, real surrender. And then now finally, number three, impact first. Especially if you're someone who really wants to like launch a business, do a service, like make 2026 the year that you go all out in your mission. Impact first. Your life needs to be about something that is bigger than you. You your heart needs to be like lit up by something more than you, because like if the only thing that drives you is wanting to buy things or whatever, at some point when things get hard, you can talk yourself out of it, trust me. You can be like, you know what, actually, I don't want it too much, it's fine, I can live without. But when it's about, and I'm not even just talking about like being a world leader or whatever, when it's about someone more than you, your mom, your dad, your siblings, your freaking neighbors, your friends, anyone, but your mission, your work, your impact, I don't care what you're selling, your heart needs to be fixated on something that is beyond you. Because if you treat your business as a project of self validation, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. But you need to realize you don't manifest shit from wanting. You manifest from being. Life is always giving you a reflection of who you are. And the crazy, like it's absolutely insane how simple it all is that right now, in this moment, in this moment, like I want you to take a deep breath with me and exhale. And I want you to realize in this moment, that dream of yours, that life you want. whatever it is, it actually exists right now, not tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. All you ever have access to is this moment right here. And in this moment right here, that timeline is already sparkling. It's waiting for you. All you have to do is observe it. All you have to do is trade your limitations for your liberation. Trade your limitations for your liberation. That's it. And if you can do that, then you can actually receive the greatest year of your life. If right now you can decide. And most people think it has to be overcomplicated. It has to be a million cartwheels, that they have to somehow work for it, earn it, blah, blah, blah. But it is as simple as a choice. And that choice you continue to make over and over again. It's a choice to again decide, again choose God, choose liberation, choose abundance, choose discipline, choose audacity. The audacity to dream bigger than yourself. Like ask yourself, what did you put on your, intentions board for 2026, really? What did you put? What do you want? And then look at that vision. Look at everything you put there and ask yourself, knowing that God is delivering this, is everything I put here safe or illogical? Is it what I logically think? If I were to sit down, come up with a plan, I could get it. Is it what your mind tells you you can have? Or is it so illogical that it terrifies the living crap out of you? Your dreams have to scare you. Your vision needs to be bigger than your ego's limitations. That is the only way. That is the only way it works. At least in a way that feels worthwhile. You have to like think about it this way, bro. Like if everything was possible and it is, and all it required was for you to step up and be greater than anyone you've ever been. Think greater than any thought you've ever had. Believe bigger than any belief you've ever allowed yourself to have. And live with a kind of faith that literally terrifies other people because they're like, well, how the frick do you believe it? Do you believe like that? How are you this convicted? How are you this faithful? Your life is the opposite. It is the opposite of what you're believing here. How do you have the audacity to dream this big and you go like, yo, because I know who my God is. That's it. That is it. And that's the muscle to build every single day. If you know who your God is, why would you believe shitty thoughts about yourself? If you know who your God is, why would you play in the ballpark of limitations? But here's the thing, your fears lie to you all the time, but your soul doesn't. Your soul will never lie to you, but it will never scream the way your ego does. The voice of your spirit, the voice of your intuition, it will always be like this calm knowing. But it won't like do cartwheels to get your attention. You have to. You have to know that the reason you have these big dreams, the reason and also that they feel terrifying is because God planted that seed in your heart. You are here to do something worthwhile. I don't care how opposite of that shit your life looks like. I started believing that fully for the first time in my life. When it came to the coaching world, I was 22. I was in the middle of a divorce. I had no business thinking that, yo, I'm gonna change the world. I couldn't even like change my marriage. And I was like, I don't know. I feel and you know how it started, by the way? I'll tell you guys a little story. I was, this is when I was 21. It was literally like, I think, um, a month after or half a month after I almost ended my life. And someone told me to watch this documentary on Netflix, Tony Robbins, I'm Not Your Guru. And I'm watching that documentary. And I was studying psychology. I was in Penn State at the time. I was married and I knew I was miserable as fuck. And I was watching that documentary and I'm looking at Tony. I don't even know what a life coach is. I don't even know what coaches are. I'm on my high moral high horse about how therapy is the only way to go, blah, blah. But I'm watching this guy and he has this fire and the way he's talking to people, the way, his energy is transforming them. I did not understand what he was doing. But I swear on my life, in my heart, it was like this fire lit up, and I was like, yo, I don't know what he's doing, but that's how I want to serve the world. Look at him. There was some guy who came and he wanted to end his life, and the way Tony talked him out of it, I was like, yo, what the frick? I want to do that. I don't even know what that is. But the only reason I was able to recognize that, even if my mind did not have words for it, was why? Because God placed that fire in me too. You cannot admire your soul or your spirit cannot be initiated by something you're not meant to be. I have never looked at an astronaut and thought, yo, I really want to go to the moon. You know what I mean? The only time, even when you're using social media, when you're watching these videos, anyone you think like, yo, that's freaking baller, whatever they're doing, I want to do that too. I want to be that way too. It's only because your spirit recognizes itself. So you have to, regardless of what your circumstances are, you have to believe that there is something greater than you and your life and your shit that you're here for. See past all your limitations to that. And then ask yourself, what would freedom be like? How would I show up in the world if I knew that I was free? How would I show up in the world if I had nothing to be afraid of? If I no longer cared about the result and I simply cared about just showing up and being in love with how I show up and what I show up for, being in love with being alive, the magic in life, we miss it so much. We miss it because we spend our time here. But honestly, if you want like 2026 to be the year you have it all, then you become it all. You give yourself the permission to, like literally yell from the top of your lungs, scream it out. Who's going to stop you? Who's going to tell you you're not supposed to be taking up that space? If anyone does, pro tip, block them. Why shouldn't you block them? Like, why does it matter? Like what anyone else thinks. This is your mission. There are people out there in the world who God put you here to serve. And I always think back to Tony because he was like the first mirror for me. And I think, wow, like if that one man did not choose to go all out, did not choose to believe in something greater than himself, the entire world would be a different place. Millions. Millions of lives would be so different. And it's easy to like feel the separation from people who've quote unquote made it, right? To go like, oh well, they're so successful because blah blah blah. But the truth is that it I don't care what happened along the way, it all started because one person was crazy enough to believe. And who's to say you're not the next person crazy enough to believe? Why not you? Why shouldn't 2026 be the year you come home to yourself? Why shouldn't 2026 year be the year that you share your magic with the world? Why shouldn't it be the year that you get to receive effortlessly? Why shouldn't it be the year that you actually like live the most abundant year ever? Why shouldn't it be the year where all your dreams do come true? Why shouldn't it be the year where every single day you wake up with your heart feeling like a freaking firework, with passion, with love, with excitement, with joy, knowing that you are here. Every single breath that God gifted you with is for a purpose. And fuck, you finally stopped running away from it. People people always say success leaves blueprint, footsteps, whatever, whatever. But the truth is, if you ever want to know the actual footprints to follow for success, don't follow their strategy, follow their conviction. You want to follow anything about anyone else? Follow their grit, their faith, their delusional belief that it works out. Because when you stop giving your mind the option to think that, oh, but what if it doesn't work? And you just say, well, it does. I don't care. It's impossible for me to fail because God put me with here with this mission. God gave this to me. So I don't care if it takes 1 month, 2 months, 20 months, whatever. I keep showing up because I am always learning, growing, and getting better. And it always works out for me. It always works out for me. I am the luckiest in every room. You have to. You have to stop fighting for the limitation. Stop fighting for that smallness. Start fighting for your truth. Start fighting for your life, your joy, who you came here to be. Because no one is going to come here and hand you a year, the best year ever. It can be so easy, but the only thing you have to do is choose a different you. You want to open a different door, choose a different key. That's just the most logical thing I can say to you. Every timeline is a door. Every consciousness, every identity is a key. You can't open the door to abundance with a key, with a mind that's always like that's always in scarcity. That's always thinking there's not enough, I'm never enough, nothing in the world is enough, blah, 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 there's lack, there's lack. And you're like, God, I want an abundant life. Are your beliefs abundant? Check yourself. And that's exactly, by the way, in 2 days, we're starting my 30-day boot camp, the illogical code. We're doing 30 days of identity mastery because I am certain that the one thing everyone in the world needs more of is mind, identity, and spirituality mastery. So it's not just your identity, it's not just your self concept, it is your faith concept, it is your God concept. Combining all of those things. So 30 days, we're going to be live. 30 days you're going to spend with me on Discord, where every single day you will get an activation, an audio activation on Discord, which will take you through that entire container is like an energy space, kind of like a cocoon for a butterfly. So you come in as the caterpillar, you spend 30 days unbecoming everything you're not. Because this is not just the boot camp to have 20, like make 2026 your year, whatever. It is the boot camp where you enter to be set for life, to be the highest version of yourself, to learn how do you actually do identity work that lasts so that you stop watching, scrolling through TikTok, looking for another ritual, scrolling through YouTube, thinking another coach with another new technique or whatever will solve you. This is about you actually doing the fucking work. You actually showing up to do the work for yourself, to become greater than anyone you've ever been, to believe greater than you've ever believed. That's why you show up. That's why you enter and you give yourself these 30 freaking days. And I promise you, your limitations, your smallness, your anything, I don't care what your circumstances, it is impossible for you to not be a completely different person by the last day, by the 30th day. For your life to not be anything less than magical because it's supposed to. And it's very easy. But without the right container, the right energy, and the activations, it gets harder. I know that because I started creating activations because I started doing them for myself. And I was like, yo, why have I never seen any meditation like this? Why have I never experienced an activation like this? And then when I started putting them out, people were like, whoa, I've never seen something like this. And that's the thing. Like, at first, that weirded me out. I was like, am I doing this wrong? But that's the thing. If your gift is yours, uniquely yours, you're not going to find proof of it elsewhere. That's the whole point. People would pass the frick out during it, after it. Crazy shit happens. So 30 days on Discord, 9 live Zoom transmissions, and you get replay access forever. But this is your chance to actually be in be part of a space, a container that holds you through your transformation. Where I'm not about to teach you the next, iconic whatever manifestation technique. I really don't give a fuck. I don't think that you need a ritual to manifest anything. We are all manifestors. We are all the most powerful manifestors to exist. But we're constantly like printing the world outside through what we choose to believe here. So, point is, coming back to this, is that you want to live a magical year. You gotta let go of your survival self. Do you pray to God while manifesting? Manifesting is literally like setting out an intention and knowing that God is bringing it to me, period. And I show up like I know He's bringing it to me. The biggest block to a magical year is your survival self. I'll start when I'm ready. No, the fuck, you're ready when like there's no ready. Just start. You learn as you grow. Fear of visibility, fear of responsibility. Oh my God. Most people say, I want this life, I want that life. Do you want to be responsible for it? Do you want to be held accountable for it? Are you ready to do what it takes? Are you ready to let go of your attachment to old comfort loops? Hiding behind healing, micro doubt, putting God second, playing small, pretending, oh my God, my dream is not that big. It starts on 1st Jan. And the link is in my bio, the logical code. But point is, look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. 2025 obviously is over, and you have an entire new year. And every moment is an opportunity for us to choose something different. Every moment you can choose a new you. Every moment you can choose a new you. And you get to ask yourself, man, like, when am I gonna stop lying to myself? When is it your turn? When will you let it be your turn? When will you stop pretending like it doesn't matter? Give yourself the permission. I'm going to leave you with this. Give yourself the permission to want it all. That when you make an identity board or when you make this, when you make that, whatever you do, give yourself the permission to think beyond limits and not in a way that you almost feel like, disconnected from it, but in a way that like I'm only dreaming illogical because my God doesn't operate on logic. And so I will take illogical action. I will show up and I will believe and I will think from that level. I will move in my life like the result is written and delivered. Like when you place an order on Amazon, you don't sit there worrying if it's going to arrive. When you order food from Uber Eats, you don't sit there worrying, oh my God, is my food going to get there? When you order a shirt online, you don't sit there thinking, is it ever going to come or did they forget about me? That's literally like you place the order and then, they take a day, they take whatever, and then it arrives. But you're not anxious 24/7. So when you're putting that identity board out, when you're setting those intentions out, you gotta like literally see it like that. See it like you're placing your order on God's Amazon. You placed it. Now you show up like it. Now you show up like it's already there. Like when I first ordered a coffee machine, me showing up like it's already here meant what? I go and get freaking coffee pods. I get whatever tools or whatever I need for the machine. That's just a simple example. But it's like you got to ask yourself, well, if when I'm asking God for all of this, what part do I play here? The part could be believing better. The part could be, okay, I'm gonna stop bullshitting myself. I'm gonna stop lying to myself. I'm actually gonna stop delaying the things I know I need to be doing, being the person I know I'm here to be. You stop like, flinching, stop checking, stop second guessing, stop every single moment being like, is that wearing down yet? Shut up, literally. Like, can you shut up? Can you give yourself 1 month of shutting up, not checking, and just going like, okay, well, it's done. That's it. Firstly, what to tell yourself that what if this manifests and it doesn't come out that way? Like earlier in your session, you said maybe you manifested and it turned out well. Girl, look, we talked about this. I said when you're setting the intention to receive something from God, you're gonna know you're either gonna get what you want or you're gonna get better. You're never losing with God. But you have to like learn to let go of your attachment to what you think is good for you, what you think is right for you. Why are you guys sending me requests to be on my live video? I'm obviously not gonna accept it. Like, break the amount of times I've seen that. Anyways, so give yourself the permission, want everything from overflow. 2026 is the year we all stop pretending that we're not here to live a big magical life. Is the year you stop lying. You is the year you remember desire is revelation, not delusion. If you have the desire, God sent it to you. Act on it, act from it, live knowing that it is done. It is done. It is done. Okay. I love y'all. Thank you for joining. I will see you laters. And I will be posting this on my Instagram feed and for YouTube on my YouTube feed. Okay. Um,